Good morning. This morning we're going to talk about crab brains. That should be clickbait. That should have got you. So before I start talking about brains, tell me if you're watching the replay and tell me where you're from. And anybody that tags anybody this morning or shares this gets a free gift that will be sent to you via Facebook Messenger, a link. If you tag somebody or share this, a free gift, Facebook Messenger link. So I'm staring at it, so I guess maybe I'll show it to you. This is a sidebar. I always have a couple of sidebars before I get. That's the first of 9 buildings and 5 homes that the owner of this island is building for his home, his primary home, Mr. Ellison. And the compound is reportedly going to cost $100 million for his home. And so just so you're clear about what reportedly means, that means unnamed sources are wildly speculating based on absolutely no knowledge or facts that his home is going to cost $100 billion. But it wouldn't surprise me. Crab brains, that's what we're here to talk about. And so let's see if I can show you what inspired me. I've often told you that I don't know what I'm going to talk about until I actually start typing on the what's today's daily dose of salt about. If you look closely down there in the rocks, do you see any movement? You see little dark movements. I don't know if it's clear enough. But I set up here and think, okay, what am I going to talk about this morning? I look down on the rocks and there's the crabs crawling on the rocks. I don't know if you can see them or not, but you know what crabs look like, right? So what do I mean by crab brains? Well, we got a whole country of crab brains going on. And so you probably have heard this analogy that if you put a bunch of crabs in a 5-gallon bucket, put maybe a stick in there so that they can crawl out, well, the leaders and most ambitious crabs, they'll start crawling up the stick, right? They're going to crawl out of the bucket. But what do the rest of the crabs do? They grab whoever's trying to crawl out of the bucket and they drag them back down in the bucket. So no crabs ever get out of the bucket. Why? Crab brains. Crab brains think like this, that, I don't want anybody else to be successful because that would then no longer justify my mediocrity or my lack of ambition or my lack of consistency. It's an envy for other people to have perhaps a better life or have more success or go places and do things that not everybody gets to do. It's just the opposite of a rising tide lifts all ships, right? So if you look around our society, maybe look at yourself, your friends, your people that you associate with, your business, your community, you'll probably find lots of examples of just the opposite of crab brains, whatever that is. We'll have to figure that out. Where people are championing each other, supporting each other, cheering each other on, collaborating. And guess what happens in that environment? Everybody has a better life. Everybody does, because it's not about competition, it's about collaboration. And I'm all for competition. Kimmy will tell you, if you put me on the pickleball court, I will do my very best to beat you in the game, right? Because that's the purpose of the game, right? Unless you change the rules, which my nephew, here's an example of, we'll call this AJ brains versus crab brains. So AJ, who's kind of my nephew, not really, he's the son of one of my very best friends in life, high school buddy, my sponsor in network marketing, lifelong best friends, who passed away about 15 years ago and left an only child, AJ, who he and I are now very close. And he happens to live here on Lanai, and he's the assistant manager of the hotel. And so AJ and I, we have like too often crab brain golf games where whenever we play golf, it's always for money and it's always highly competitive. It's psychological warfare, including golf warfare, all over $20 or something, and bragging rights. And about 6 weeks ago, AJ messaged me and he said, "Hey, how about if we do something different? How about if when we play golf from now on, we play a scramble?" Now, scramble is when you're actually on the same team and you use whose ever shot is the best shot, and you both play from that shot. So you get two chances at the best shot. It's kind of like if you're a golfer, your second shot's always better than your first. And so AJ proposed that we collaborate when we play golf to see how low of a score when we combine our shots that we could achieve. AJ brains. So now when AJ and I are playing golf, we're not tearing each other down. We're not dragging each other. We're not standing over somebody's putt and going, "I hope you miss. I hope you miss. I hope you miss," right? We're like, "I hope you make it." Whole different energy versus crab brains. And so my message today is just maybe look at you and look around your environment, the people you hang out with. And are you hanging out with AJs or are you hanging out with crabs? Which is it? And if you look at our whole political situation, crab brains. It's all crab brains. It's like, you don't get what you want. I get what I want. And I want you to miss that putt. I want you to miss those elections. I don't want you to get any traction. I don't want you to get anything that honors your values. It's all about me, 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 me. And guess what happens in the me, 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 me crab brain societies? Nobody gets out of the bucket. In the United States, at least, if we don't get out of the bucket, we stew in the bucket. We die in the bucket. We don't evolve. We don't prosper. We're not going low. We're creating a mess. So, short message today, but question for you is, maybe you could drop it in the comments. You got crab brains or AJ brains? Which do you prefer? Which do you have in your business? Which do you have in your community? Which do you have in your friends? Which do you have in your family? Crab brains, AJ brains. Tag and share, free gift. Watching the replay, type it in. Where are you from? Type it in. Thanks for joining me. AJ brains. I just made that up.